As far as the starter project setup, we have all the pages. So we have index, of course, for the home, then about, then product. So that is going to be for the single product, as well as products HTML, which is for all the products. Then we have style CSS. So of course we have all the styles. We start with the global ones. And then of course, if you keep on scrolling, notice these are going to be specific styles. For example, in this case, for the navbar. We have some images that we're going to use. There's going to be a black logo, white logo, as well as main BCG that we'll use for the hero. And once in a while, we'll use it for the placeholder. So just like in the other project, when first we were setting up the HTML structure, we will need some kind of placeholder image. And then, of course, eventually we'll replace it with our dynamic images using JavaScript. And then we have a source folder. And then in the source folder, we have all our JavaScript files. Now, because there's multiple functionalities in the project, I even separated more, where, for example, here you can see that we have pages folder with about.js, product.js, and products. So these reflect page JavaScript files. So this is going to be for every page, whether that is about, whether that is product or products. And notice here, index.js. So this is going to be for the homepage. So in these files, we'll get our modules. So these are going to be reflecting each and every page. Now then we have specifically for the filters, and don't worry, of course we'll get there, as well as the cart. Now I could have dumped them all in the source, but I thought separating them is just going to make a little bit more sense. And then as far as the files, if you go there, you'll notice that if there is some kind of export, for example, in this case, it is function by the name of fetch products, I just have the placeholder for that function. Because like I was saying in the about project video, I already have all the imports set up for us. So that way we don't need to repeat the redundant work. However, in order for that to work, in order for me to leave all these imports so then we can just focus on functionality, I need to export at least something. So that's why, as you can see, there's no functionality. So yes, of course, we'll set up all the functionality ourselves, but there is already a placeholder for this fetch products. So that way, for example, in the index.js, where I'm importing this fetch products, and notice it's coming from the source and then from the same file, I don't have the error. Now, the only thing that is complete, if we navigate to utils, you'll find URLs that we'll use for our API. And of course, don't worry, I'll talk about it in bigger detail once we get there. And this get element function that we have already used before, where we just pass in our selection, we set up the document query selector, and if there's an element, we return it. If not, we throw in the error and we say, hey, please check your selection. So that's the only thing that has been added because we already have created multiple times. So again, I thought it would be redundant if we would repeat all the same steps. So that should do it for our starter overview. And now we can finally start writing some code.